It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to talk relationships with Dr. Eve. She's here on the couch this morning, and you know what? There's nothing more intoxicating than falling in love. But imagine falling in love with someone from a different country. I mean, you get to experience a new language, a new culture, share your roots and knowledge, maybe even travel to a different part of the world. And then things get real.
They do, and questions start to come up, things like the long distance between the two of you and how you endure that. It starts becoming about foreign passports, immigration. Do you move? Are you coming down here? How do you then navigate those waters? Yes, exactly, of foreign affairs, love in foreign affairs, if you will. So give us a call, especially if you are in such a relationship, on 0214309881 and give us your comment. Maybe you have some solutions on how to make such a relationship work, because I think just like Leanne said, Dr. Eve, it is quite intoxicating for a lot of people out there to think of loving, having a foreign lover.
Well, first of all, I think everybody's foreign to each other. You know, I'm going
Well
to be
said. Well said. We all come from our own republics.
I agree with that. Wow, you're hot today, hey? You're hot
Thanks,
today.
babe.
We are all foreign to each other. Then we add in the element of different culture, and with that comes different conundrums that we are facing in relationships. I think it is kind of exotic when you meet somebody in the foreignness, because if you think about it, what really attracts us to somebody is the difference between them and us. And so here you have this added wonderful layer of romance, of language, of culture, as you said, just the nuances that are there, the accents, all really exciting.
Is it because we kind of anticipate that which we could learn from the other partner, like you say, whether it is about their culture, their language, their life experiences? We look forward to so many conversations. I mean, people are always going on about, how Saturday mornings on Instagram are meant for like just lying on the couch and just chatting to Bay about nothing and everything. We all anticipate that. Is that what attracts us to this foreign
I think that we are naturally attracted to anything that's foreign in somebody else. And here you've elevated it to a completely different level, where this is like on steroids, foreign. And so the attraction has to be bigger, and the curiosity is bigger, and also the novelty factor. Those are things that we want in relationship. The novelty factor is up to 100%. So absolutely, this person is going to be the dream and the fantasy come true. But then, as you were saying, Leanne, fantasy sets in, the reality sets in really quickly. And I think, and I would hope that the reality sets in way before you do the passports and you decide, are we going to have children and move countries?
Before we talk about the reality, because I feel like that's going to be a dampener.
That's true.
Let's talk about, because I think a lot of people see dating a foreigner as levels. You're tired of the locals that are just in jet. So now, you know, it's like levels. I'm going out with a, guy from like Mozambique, America. But it can also create an amazing bonding experience, because you're not seeing each other on the daily, so you have to make more time to connect and communicate, and people put a lot of work into that.
Well, if they're in a different country. So it's not somebody who's just living down the road from you. So then anyone who's in a long-distance relationship, you do have to put in the work around that. And then there is a lot more intimacy, because everyone online has way more intimacy. We go into this what's called hyper-personal intimacy, and so we feel we really know them, especially for people who are meeting online, from people in different countries. And then you think that you know this person, because you can't hear the language if you're not Skyping, or if you're not, face-to-face chatting with each other. Then it is elevated to a sense of enormous interpersonal intimacy that happens. But I'm always going to come back to the reality of what really happens, because when, especially online, we hide a lot of what we really are.
Well, Dr. Eve, we'll be back with you right now, and I nearly asked you whether you've ever been in love with a foreigner, but we'll keep that question for the next segment. But this does stretch over the broad topic of long-distance relationships, because for some people, if they're in Joburg and they're dating a Cape Townian, that qualifies as foreign affairs,
guys,
it's foreign love. So let us know how you make it work. Give us a call on 0214309881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, from macking in the kitchen to macking in relationships, it's time for us to get down and dirty with, of course, Dr. Eve. We're talking about long-distance relationships and the joys and challenges thereof, but now to focus on the challenges.
Yeah, we actually have a caller on the line right now. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Very well. Sorry, who am I speaking to once again?
Are you speaking to Mario?
This is Mario. Okay, cool. Tell us your story, Mario.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, I met a girl in Barcelona while I was traveling. And then once we started kicking it off, I made plans to visit her in Brazil.
Yeah.
And then did 2 months there with her, and then she came to visit me for 2 months in Cape Town. And then we got to a point where we were sort of stuck.
Wow.
So my question is, how should I have handled it to make it like follow through?
Okay,
Because
great,
it's
great
just,
question.
yeah.
Well, the question, I guess, is why didn't you follow through? Why did you let it just go?
Because it sort of felt like we had to sort of move to each other's home country, and that decision is huge.
Yeah.
It is a
But,
massive
like,
decision.
The experience was amazing, but I just think like for future, people should maybe think about that before committing to like going all the way there, you know?
May I ask you a question quickly, Mario, before we revert to Dr. Eve? When it came to kind of thinking about that decision, how willing were you to move to Brazil?
Wow, the place is amazing, but like the cultural difference is huge. So, I mean, everything you have to think about work, lifestyle, their family, their friends, and then you have to leave all of yours behind.
And you never kind of quite fit in, even if you were to learn the language and adapt to the culture.
Her English was great, but my Portuguese was not so good at all.
Right. I mean,
Mario seems to have very good recollections of this relationship, but how could he have handled it better? Because it sounds like, Mario, you would have wanted it to carry on and be a fruitful relationship. Am I right?
Yeah, but the thing is also that was my first relationship ever, and I'm 27, so I threw myself in the deep end.
Yeah, you know, unless you have a passion for living in Brazil, it's a good thing that you didn't really go. Because to base any kind of big move like that just on a person, I think is kind of a high-risk situation. You have to have other reasons that you want to be living in a different country. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket, especially into a relationship. And after 2 months, 4 months, 6 months of hanging out long distance, it's a big risk to say, I'm going to give it all up. Unless, as I say, I can see you struggling, Kat, unless you're saying, you know what, I'm really kind of interested to live in a different country, I'm willing to give, you never really give up what's here, but to be able to have a different start, a different life in a different country.
Here's what I'm struggling with.
Even if the relationship
Here's
doesn't work.
what I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like we're putting so many boundaries in the assessment process of whether I should go into this relationship or not. Because now you meet somebody, let's say in Joburg or wherever you are, you meet that person. Now you've got to start asking yourselves questions 10 steps ahead, and you never even get into the relationship to begin with because you're scared. What if it works out? Now I've got to move to Spain. I can't speak Spanish. Well, it's not worth it. Anyway, 0214309881. We'll be back again with Dr. Eve in a second. I'm so...
Okay.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time to continue our relationship talk with Dr. Eve. And of course, if you have a question or comment, please give us a call on 021 430 9881. I want to talk about the practicalities around things like visas and passport, and the reason why you would necessarily marry somebody that is living abroad. I'm going to be honest, and the only reason I can talk about this is this person's not currently in South Africa. I have a friend that literally wanted to marry someone for a green card in America, and was going to marry this person who actually said, I'm 19, I'll marry you.
Wow.
So there was
And
an
she was
honesty
so desperate to live in
involved,
America, she would have married someone for a green card.
And so that's a practical thing. So
okay.
if you get into a romantic situation with somebody, that's one of the challenges that exist. Of like, does this person really want me for me, or is it because of the visa? Also, does this person have a life that they want to leave behind and conveniently have fallen in love with me, and I offer them an opportunity for a new life and a getaway from what they have left behind, a heartbreak or financial difficulty or family stuff that they don't want to be in. So one has to talk about those things beforehand, and how many people are really honest enough to say.
I was about to say, how do you even bring up that conversation?
Exactly.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
babe, so I was wondering, do you want to marry me because you want a UK passport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, baby, I love you. And then like it's done.
Or even pretending to be in love with someone to get
Yeah.
those documents.
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
Like, what are those are complications down the line, because yes, you might get it now, but later on you still gotta.
And then you become very dependent, because what happens if the relationship ends and then your whole life is tied in with this person because you can't live there or you can't work there without being married to them. So there are many kind of tangles that happen when you get into these kinds of relations. And I really don't want to be a pessimist, because I do believe that love love doesn't conquer all, but I think that love can be factored in, and I do think that there are many people who have found ways to overcome it and live, happily ever after.
Yeah, because I was about to say, maybe there is a good in it. And
Yes.
do you possibly feel that when people do get into foreign affairs,
Yes,
just
that sounds
foreign
so
affairs,
weird, yeah.
that the relationship is much stronger because of the levels of commitment that these two people have had to make to each other, crossing borders, making peace with the fact that you now have to be part of a new community, new society, new culture, new language, new
barriers,
everything.
yeah.
I think,
That could solidify the relationship
When
even
you
more.
move into your own culture, you become a little different. You have the power, and we always talk about power on the show, and how very unhealthy it is when there's a power differential. So you live in Brazil, you are Brazilian, you know what's going on. You have to be really patient with this person from South Africa who is needing a lot of support, who is really feeling that they're inferior.
Yeah.
How do you balance that out and not take advantage?
All right, I think we have one more segment with Dr.
Yes.
E very shortly. Give us a
Let's
call,
do that.
0214309881. Foreign affairs is what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, while we are navigating those tricky relationship conundrums with Dr. Eve, we have an exciting announcement of a new show coming to SABC3 programming beginning the 9th of May. Now, it's called Saving Our Marriage, and it seeks to assist couples who would like to be empowered with the tools to be able to return their marriage to a state of health. And just like exercising your body or going to the doctor when you're feeling ill, it pays off to actively work with your partner to ensure you are doing all that you can to keep your marriage healthy. Now, the show is looking for married couples who would like to participate in the experience of working with a group of experts to restore the flame that keeps the relationship burning. And if you would like to take part in this experience, then you can apply by emailing som@connect.tv or by calling the number 073-825-0321. Those details are currently on your screen. Now, give your commitment the second chance it deserves by being part of Saving Our Marriage, that will be hitting the screens May on SABC3.
Gosh, we're getting so deeply involved in this right now. I was just thinking about how a relationship with somebody in a foreign country could easily extend itself superficially, because they're there, you're here, so whenever you go and visit, it's always this alluring charm. Oh yeah, and then after 2 years you find yourself in this relationship, but now you have to live together, and now it's different. Like, do I even know this person?
You don't.
But somebody that did this successfully,
Yes.
on the line right now, I believe Chantel is on the line from Joburg. Good morning, Chantel.
Morning.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, tell us your beautiful, successful love story.
Yes, I'm from South Africa and my husband is from Germany.
Yes.
And initially we did have some challenges. I lived in Germany for a while, but it was difficult to get work. And he moved here. And 20 years later, we still happily together.
Oh my goodness, this is like some 18 years later, is it?
Yeah, so he's living here for 18 years now and we're together for 20 years.
Oh my goodness,
Wonderful.
wow.
Chantal, so did he just come here because he loves you? Or was there other reasons that he would be interested in living in South Africa? Like, did he ever want to leave Germany?
No, he didn't. He did live outside of Germany for a while. He lived in the US, he lived in Sweden and Norway. So we both love travel. But back in the old days, before internet, I had numerous friends all over the world. And he was one of them. And we just sort of developed a special friendship, and then he came to visit South Africa on holiday twice. And we just sort of fell in love then, and I moved across. But it was difficult with the language and in terms of me getting work with my degree.
Yeah.
So we made a list of the pros and cons, and he decided to move here. That's the better option. And yeah, here we are 20 years later.
Wow, that's amazing
That's a
that you
beautiful
guys
story.
actually sat down and made a list of
Yeah.
the pros and cons, and obviously
Really
the pros
healthy.
outweighed the cons.
Yeah.
And what would your advice, Chantal, be to somebody who is in a relationship like that, but they're now at that stage where they have to make that list of pros and cons in order to make it work, because they really feel love? What would your advice be to them?
So absolutely, the first thing is you need to love the person for who they are, and not about, moving to another country or whatever it is. And then you need to see what you are prepared, because obviously there is sacrifice. You need to see what you are prepared to sacrifice for that relationship. But you also need to make that list of pros and cons. Is it possible for me to work in that country? Can I have a successful life? All those sorts of things. You can't just do it on a whim, because, there is love, but there's also the practicalities of life and living,
I guess you have to be a highly motivated
it is something
person.
that you must consider.
Yeah, must be a highly motivated person. And be very high in resilience as well, to be able to make that change and immerse yourself in a culture where you can be independent.
There's something about the Germans, though. Yes, Chantal.
You were saying there's something about the Germans?
About the Germans. Like, I know so many friends and family that have married into the German culture and are like just thriving in life. So I don't know, maybe...
Is it like Afrikaans 2.0? So it's like...
I don't know what it is. I think we're out of time, but we didn't even get a chance to chat about the children in this situation. So I do think we need to chat about this at another time, because the children are very important.
Maybe we should extend our foreign affairs chat into next week as well and come back.
We can do that.
Yeah, well, Dr. Eve, as always, thank you very much, Chantal, and to all of our callers, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. We'll do this again next week. Thanks, babe.